Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and does anybody know what day it is? I haven't a clue. My daughter and I, my youngest daughter Alicia, we had a laugh the other night because she sent her dad and I a text and said, "Mom, I have no clue what day it is," because she's like everybody else. She's used to work schedules and school schedules for the girls and all of that. And with everybody staying at home, it's hard to keep up with what day it is, isn't it? But I think today is Thursday. I had to look at the calendar. And of course, we're going to do Tuesday's tips, tricks, and techniques on Thursday. But we had to finish up that large mini album first. So I'm going to do this today. Now, these are just, as you can see, there's some of the backer pieces for bling and ephemera, different things that you get inside those bags. You know, you'll have a bag and it'll have this in there and have bling on top of it or whatever. I keep all of these, and I also keep my bags because these are good to cut out and use for shaker cards. So I keep all of this stuff. I don't throw hardly anything away that I think I might can use. These are really good to use to make tags, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But I've got some various sizes here. That's from the Pretty Mosaic. That was the bling tag. This was a large piece from Tim Holtz. Looks like it had stencils in it, I think, and I just cut it to a size that I wanted. And then this is a Clover Value mint cookies that I've had over there in my stash. I keep all of these pieces of chipboard too, and I've had it over there in my stash for a while, and I just kind of cut it down. Now I went ahead and rounded the corners on these to begin with, but you don't have to do that because we're going to have to round them again anyway. Now what I did is I took these, grab out all your scrap paper because that's what I did, and then I made just some pretty tags with them. These tags you can put inside your journals, you can put inside your mini albums like we just made. You can just send these as a card in the mail if you want to. Just write a note on them and send them in the card in the mail. So I made some various sizes. These are all of this. And then I just pulled out some of my scrap pieces of, these are just some, let me show you what all I pulled out here. These are just some things that I've collected over the years. This is a Tim Holtz, let's see, Ideology salvage stickers that I got a long time ago, and I've had that in my stash for a while. These are some Prima sentiment stickers, just has various ones in here. And then I have some Pink Fresh ones, some Heidi Swap ones. All of these I've just collected up over the years. This is not something I went out and bought. It's just something I pulled out of my stash. And then I also had these. This I think I actually got at a little discount store. It says Memo Notebook, and it just has some of these vintage looking papers in it. They're already vintage looking, and you can see I've took notes everywhere. So I don't have to do a lot to them. So I've pulled out some of those, and then these are just different little notes and tags and things that I pulled out. And then this is something from Studio 112 that I've had forever. They're really thin, so they're not good to use by themselves, but they're good to put on something like this. That right there is pretty, isn't it? Look at that. Let's see if that might fit on one or not. Well, the background don't exactly go. That is green and the other's blue, but you know, we can come up with something to use these on. So I just pulled out all of this stuff and then a lot of scrap paper because I want to use some of this up. I want to get some of it made and done. So these are some of the tags that I have made. So I haven't really decorated these yet. I've just actually put the hole in them and then put some ribbon through them. Now I got this out of my scrap. I have a scrap stash of ribbon. I just have a big jar, and anytime it gets down to just a little bitty piece like that, I just stick it in that jar, and then I use it for things like this. So, and that one, it's got the Eiffel Tower on the back. So let's make a few of these, and I'll show you exactly how they're made and how easy and quick they are. And it's just something you can do since we all have some time now. All right, let's just start out with this one. And now you can just use scrap pieces of paper if you want and just you know, put scrap pieces on there and just kind of collage it. I will do one of those like that in a minute, but first let's just do one with a bigger scrap. Let's see, let's just try this one. This is a big scrap that I've had, and I think I want this side on my tag, so I'm going to lay it down this way, and I just kind of lay it down at the bottom. So, and I'm not going to worry about this up here going on to the branding piece there. I'm not going to worry about that at all, because on this side, see, it's kind of pretty, so that will be fine with me. But you could always cut these down if it's a little bit bigger than what you want. You could always cut them down. Now, I come in about a 1/2 inch. I lay my tag down about a 1/2 inch in, and I leave this. So let's go ahead and put some glue on here. Now, you can use a glue stick. A glue stick would be fine. I just don't particularly like glue sticks. I end up getting glue sticks everywhere, so I'm not a fan of glue sticks, but you could use your glue sticks on this. I do have one, and I did use some yesterday, but it got all over me. I'm just not good with glue sticks for some reason. So I'm just going to lay that down like that, and I'm going to press it down really well. Let me grab my bone folder. I hope everybody out there is still well. I would like for y'all to help me pray for Gina Ortez. I don't think she will mind me telling this on here, because she has already posted it on YouTube. But she is a very good friend of mine. She has done, she has been on our design team before, and she is a wonderful artist. But she has contracted the virus, and from where she works, she supposes. But I would like for y'all to pray for her, that God will just touch her and heal her, and that she will not have any of the complications that a lot of people are having. So I would really appreciate it if y'all would add her to your prayer list and help me pray for Gina. Okay, now all I did now was I went down through there with my little scoring tool, and then I'm going to fold that up. And again, I'm going to use my bone folder. And then I'm going to fold it over this way, and I'm going to use my bone folder again. Okay, then we're going to run some glue right down through here. Oops. And we're going to press that over. And then we're going to put glue. Well, first I'm going to cut. I like to trim this down first, because it makes it easier for me to see where I need to trim when I put that other side up. So I just trim at the end of this. And then we're going to put glue on this side. Now, some of these are pretty slick. They're made, you know, out of that slick kind of paper. They have like a glossy finish to them. So you may have to put a little extra glue to get it to stick, but I've not had any trouble with the art glitter glue sticking on here. And I've had a lot of people ask me about art glitter glue in the last 24 hours. We have just a couple of the 2-ounce left, and then I have a few 16-ounce that I'm going to load in the shop, and then that's all I have until I can get a shipment in. So hopefully we will have a shipment before long. I don't know. You know, shipping everywhere right now is crazy. So, all right, now all you need to do is just trim that off right at the edge, and just be kind of careful that you trim it kind of straight. And then I flip it over here, and I just make sure this is as straight as it can be, like that. Alrighty, so it looks like we've got that pretty straight. Now what I do is I take my corner rounder on the 1/2 inch side, and if you don't have one of these, if you just have a little regular little rounder and it won't go through there, you can just take your scissors and trim it with your scissors. Or you can cut it at an angle. Just whatever you like to do on your tags. I like mine to just have that little rounded corner. So that's what I do to mine. And I round all 4 corners. Just like that. And then we're going to take our little hole punch. And I'm going to find the center up here. This is the top. You just make sure that your writing's going the right way. I'm going to find my center. Let's see. Looks like it's going to be right there. And I'm just going to mark it. The little mark. Okay. And then I'll take my hole punch. And I use the smallest of my hole punches. You can use whichever one you want, depending on what paper or what ribbon you're going to be putting through there. And that went through way easy. That's because it had that opening like this at the top, so that's fine. All right. And now I want to ink around it just so that it'll cover up any imperfections here. So I think I'm going to use the Victorian Velvet to ink around this one. I like to use that when it is has a little bit of pink in the paper. To me, it just makes it pretty. And see, it covers all of that on the sides. And anywhere you trimmed it, it covers that so that your chipboard doesn't show. And I do both sides because this tag is where you can use both sides of it. That's that. And then I take a hole reinforcer. And these I have already colored, but you can color them. I buy just the white packs, the great big packs, and then I color them whatever color that I need at the time. So I've colored quite a few of these pink. You know what? I think I use the large hole. I don't use the small one, I use the large one. Let me see. Let's knock this out. Because my whole reinforcer thing is a little bit larger there. There we go. That looks better. So use the large one when you're punching your hole. So then I do that. So there is that part of the tag. And then I just grab some scrap ribbon. Let's see what I've got over here. I have this piece, and this is just some of that rounded ribbon. And it's in that pink color. We're going to put that on there. And I just do it like that. You could put a larger ribbon on there if you want. It doesn't matter with me. I might go back and add more. Who knows? And now we're going to put a little something on here so we can journal on it. Now, I like to I'll grab one of these. And then I like to tear it and put part of it on the front and part of it on the back. That way it gives me a little bit extra writing space. And I have something on the front and on the back. And then where I tore that, I really ink it dark. And it makes it look like the paper's kind of burned. And this is the ground espresso. I cannot say that for some reason. And so I do that on both ends. And of course, you wouldn't have to do the tearing here if you don't want to. I know some people don't like to tear. I love the torn look, but that is strictly up to you. You do not have to tear. I just like that look. And this will give us some space to write. And let's see. Ooh, I don't really want to cover that up. I may bring this kind of up this way. Like that. Put it there. And then we'll flip it over. And I'll probably put this one right there in the middle so I don't cover everything up. I like that writing on that paper. Like that. So see, you have your journaling room there. And then I just take my Tim Holtz, take these little words and phrases. Let's see. Let's see what we want to put here. I like this one that says, live, create, tell the story. Now, when I put a phrase down like this, a lot of times I'll cut it in half. I'll cut it in two. And I'll put the little pieces in different areas. So let's do live there. Create there. And then we'll do tell the story like that. So that's what we did with that. And I'll flip it over and I'm going to put one on this side. Let's see. Let's just use this one that says never give up. And I'm going to cut this one too. I like to have them cut so that I can put them on different lines, imaginary lines, so that it looks a little bit more like type, like I've typed it on there. So there we go. We've got that one on there, never give up. And then I take just a little marker. Let's see if this is my little one. I don't think that's the little one. Yep, that is my little one. I take just a fine line pen, and then I just do some little sketchy lines around the edges. And you realize how hard it is for someone who thinks that everything has to be perfectly straight to do a sketchy line. It's pretty hard. But I'm trying, I'm learning. I want all the lines to be perfect and straight, and that's just my accountant coming out in me. But the sketchier they are, the better it looks. The more it looks like a real type. Okay, and then you can also go around it with some stitch marks if you wanted to. You could keep adding to, but I think that's enough on that one for me. So we'll lay that one over here with the others. Okay, let's do this one and let's just kind of collage it. Let's use some different little scrap pieces and just collage it. I'm going to grab some pieces and just kind of lay them down here. So don't throw away anything. You can use a lot of these pieces. And then this was from the branding strip. And I like what that says. Cycles, motorcycles, and automobiles. So we might put that right up there at the top. I'm not crazy about that green on there. May flip that over and do it like that. Okay, I'm going to pull those to the side. And I'm just going to kind of tear some of these. And I am going to put some ink on them so that it just kind of makes them look old and worn. Now you could put this down with Collage Podge or Mod Podge, whatever you wanted to do. I'm just going to put it down with just like this. Just going to use my art glitter glue. Now you can see what I've done. I've just took some papers that kind of match, that have some same colors in it, and then I have just torn some different ones and laid them down in place, and then I'll start inking and gluing down. So I will fast forward this so that you don't have to watch me ink everything, and then we'll come back when I get this all put together. Okay, so there's one that we have collaged, and you can see it's just some various little pieces of paper. This may not be your style, and if it's not, then that's fine. Just do them like this. I like this every now and then, so I'm going to do a few like this, and then I just flip it over, and I trim the paper off at the back. So I always let the paper run a little bit over. That makes it look a little bit better. Okay. But this is a good way to use up those tiny little pieces of paper like this that you would have never thought about using on anything else. Okay, I'm going to grab one of our little paper doilies to put on here. That's a little bit too red. I kind of like that. It's a little bit of a contrast, but I think it would be pretty. Let's look at this one laying on there first. Ooh, I don't know. I like that too. Let's go with this one. So we're just going to lay a little doily on here. Okay. And I'm just going to lightly ink around the edges. I'm not going to put a dark. I'm just going to lightly. And then I'm just going to lay that down right there in the center. And again, this is not something that you need to do if you don't want to, if you don't like this look. I'm just giving you some different ideas. And then I'm just going to go around and put a little bit of glue there and lay that down. All right, and then we'll put something in the center of that. Let's look and see what we have. See if I have anything in here that's going to kind of go. Most of these are a little bit too dark, I think. Okay, I think I'm going to cut this out and just use it on the top of that for my journaling. Then let's put some kind of quote on here. Let's just put this that says timeless. And I'm just going to put it right there. Timeless. All right, then we will round the corners. And I know I don't have the back side done yet, but I'm just showing you this front part for now, and then I might go ahead and do the back side in a moment. But I can do the back side the same way. And then I'm going to ink around it with the darker ink just because I've used darker ink around the edges of the collage paper. Just kind of bring it all together. And rolling a little bit of that doily up will make it look a little bit more vintage, if you like that vintage look. And then we will punch a hole. Kind of mark the center on here. Now, if you really wanted this to lay down and look all uniform, you could put some Mod Podge over the top of it. I like mine like it is, so I'm just going to leave it like that. But that's just something else that you could do. Let's see if we have a piece of ribbon. Here's a little scrap piece over here. This is not exactly the color scheme, but it'll work. I can always go back and replace if I need to. Okay, so there is another tag. You can see it's ready to go or ready to put in your journal whichever one you want to do. So you can go ahead with all of your pieces like this. Don't throw these away. Save them, and you can go ahead and pull out your scrap paper, all your little scrap embellishments and things, and you can just keep embellishing these. This is not something that you can stop with. You can just keep on embellishing. Like on that one, I might put that, but I would cut this little top right here off. I don't particularly want that another hole in there, so I'm just going to round it off. And then I'll add we'll add this other color of ink on here so that it'll match. You can see how thin this paper is. This is like a copy paper. That's why you couldn't use these little tags by themselves. Okay, now let's lay this down on this one, and this will be a little journaling spot. I think over to the side will be fine. So there's a little journaling spot on that one. And like I said, you can always go back and add other little embellishments on here. You can add lace, trims, different things, bling, all kinds of things on here. So that is just some ideas on some tags that you can do out of just your scrap pieces of, this is like a light chipboard that comes in all of your ephemera. Right now, all of us are using up things that we have in stock because we're crafting and doing a lot of crafting. And so this is just some good things that you can do with this without having to throw them in the trash. That is it for today's Tuesday's Tips, Tricks, and Techniques. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.